that I perceive. Your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Well, I'm forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, Willie, and we're ready for lesson 348 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. We're reading from the original edition here on Thursday, December the 14th of 2023. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Thank you for joining me. Father, let me remember you are here, and I am not alone. Surrounding me is everlasting love. I have no cause for anything except the perfect peace and joy I share with you. What need have I for anger or for fear? Surrounding me is perfect safety. Can I be afraid when your eternal promise goes with me? Can I be afraid when your eternal promise goes with me? Surrounding me is perfect sinlessness. What can I fear when you created me in holiness, as perfect as your own? God's grace suffices us in everything that He would have us do, and only that we choose to be our will, as well as His. God's grace suffices us in everything that He would have us do, and only that we choose to be our will, as well as His. Our one will with God. And our associated reading for today, what is a miracle? A miracle is a correction. It does not really change at all. It merely looks on devastation and reminds the mind that what it sees is false. It undoes error, but does not attempt to go beyond perception nor exceed the function of forgiveness. Thus it stays within time's limits, yet it paves the way for the return of timelessness and love's awakening. For fear must slip away under the gentle remedy it gives. A miracle contains the gift of grace, for it is given and received as one, and thus it illustrates the law of truth the world does not obey because it fails entirely to understand its ways. A miracle inverts perception which was upside down before, and thus it ends the strange distortions that were manifest. Now is perception open to the truth. Now is forgiveness seen as justified. Forgiveness is the home of miracles. The eyes of Christ deliver them to all they look upon in mercy and in love. Perception stands corrected in His sight, and what was meant to curse has come to bless. Each lily of forgiveness offers all the world the silent miracle of love, and each is laid before the Word of God upon the universal altar to Creator and creation, in the light of perfect purity and endless joy. The miracle is taken first on faith, because to ask for it implies the mind has been made ready to conceive of what it cannot see and does not understand. Yet faith will bring its witnesses to show that what it rested on is really there, and thus the miracle will justify your faith in it, and show it rested on a world more real than what you saw before, a world redeemed from what you thought you saw. Miracles fall like drops of healing rain from heaven on a dry and dusty world. Where starved and thirsty creatures came to die, now they have water. Now the world is green, and everywhere the signs of life spring up to show that what is born can never die, and what has life has immortality. And our lesson again, I have no cause for anger or for fear. Let me slide over a little bit out of the sunlight. Yeah, I got an umbrella up there, but the sun's kind of creeping over. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, Father, and in every need that I perceive, your grace is sufficient for me. Your grace suffices me. His grace gives us everything we need. And we're going to learn about that in our reading today. That the song of prayer, forgiveness, and healing by the Foundation for Inner Peace. And how to get a hold of them will be in the description below. And I appreciate them as the publisher and allowing me to read this. Let's see, what else can I say? acim.org is their website if you want to get a book, which next year we'll be going through the whole workbook for students, the text, and these supplements all the way through in 1 year. Okay, so bring your friends and join along. And if you've listened to it many times, listen to it again. I've been reading this book for over 30 years, and I still keep getting way a lot out of it, a bunch. Every time I read it, I go, wow, I didn't know that was there. It's on a level that I just wasn't able to reach 30 years ago. I'm reaching better and better every time I read it. So I'd encourage you just to make it a sadhana, a practice, a spiritual practice. Before we go there, it's Alabama Day. What's Alabama Day? The day that Alabama was entered into the U.S. It's the 22nd state, December 14th of 1819. Free Shipping Day, a day that a lot of retailers give free shipping and guarantee that you'll get there by Christmas Eve. Monkey Day, the Semiformis, and of the Semiforms, or Semiformis, I'm not sure, there's over 200 or about 200 species. That word is from the Latin word semi, which means ape, which were cousins. National Bouillabaisse Day, which is a French seafood soup. Roast Chestnut Day, and it's the 6th day of Hannuka. And about chestnuts. So anyway, happy Hannuka. It'll last 8 days. American Chestnut, which is I think it's a Castanea ditata. And let's see, did I write down make sure I was pronouncing that right? Well, I didn't write, but I think it is the Castanea ditata is the American chestnut. And let me tell you a little bit about it. Thanks to the American Chestnut Foundation, the TACF, they've been active for many years following the technical approach of back-crossing American chestnut and Asian chestnut, the Castanea mollissima is the Asian chestnut. As of this writing, they have produced up to the 15/16th Castanea dentata cross. Okay, now why is that important? Because back in the early 1900s, a fungus, and the name of the fungus is Siphonectria parasitica, and that fungus came into the United States. I heard it came at the World Fair of, I think, 08 maybe. But anyway, it spread all the way across the United States and killed out the American chestnuts. Most all of them. It was one of the most abundant trees in the eastern woodlands, and it was slowly the top died out. They say the top because the root's not susceptible to the fungus, so it'll shoot out new shoots, but by the time they get about 10, 15, 20 years old, they die. So they never get more than about that big, and you'll see a clump in the woods occasionally with a whole bunch of dead branches, because chestnut is really long-lasting. It doesn't decay quickly. So they're not endangered because of that, but they never reach the great big, they used to be huge trees, 4 foot and more across. And of course they produce the American chestnut, which, roast them over an open fire. So what they've been doing, the Asian chestnut is immune to that blight, so they crossed them. And now to get it more of an American chestnut, they cross it again, which would make, the first cross is 50%, the second cross would be 25%, and they've got it now to where it's a 15/16 cross. And we're waiting for them to have a lot of seedlings and then spread, and those are resistant to the blight. And then we'll have basically an American chestnut that looks like an American chestnut, but it will have a little bit of the Asian chestnut, which is blight resistant. Now, I'm hoping to get those soon to be starting planting them. So that's your American chestnut. Okay, well, let's go look at our reading for today, and we're going to use the word for peace today that we've already used last time, Shanti, which is peace in Hindi, the main language of India. So Shanti. Okay, prayer. Oh, let's see. How can I get this? The song of prayer. Prayer, forgiveness, healing. Prayer, forgiveness, healing. The song of prayer. In chapter 1, prayer, introduction. Prayer is the greatest gift with which God blessed His Son at His creation. It was then what it is to become. The single voice Creator and creation share. The song the Son sings to the Father, who returns the thanks it offers Him unto the Son. Endless the harmony, and endless too the joyous concord of the love they give forever to each other. And in this creation is extended. God gives thanks to His extension in His Son. His Son gives thanks for His creation in the song of His creating in His Father's name. The love they share is what all prayer will be throughout eternity, when time is done, for such it was before time seemed to be. 2. To you who are in time a little while, prayer takes the form that will best suit your need. You have but one need. What God created one must recognize its oneness and rejoice that what illusions seem to separate is one forever in the mind of God. Your one need is to realize your oneness. Prayer now must be the means by which God's Son leaves separate goals and separate interests by, and turns in holy gladness to the truth of union in His Father and Himself. Lay down your dreams, you holy Son of God. This is paragraph 3. Lay down your dreams, you holy Son of God, and rising up as God created you, dispense with idols and remember Him. Prayer will sustain you now and bless you as you lift your heart to Him in rising song that reaches higher and then higher still, until both high and low have disappeared. Faith in your goal will grow and hold you up as you ascend the shining stairway to the lawns of heaven and the gate of peace. For this is prayer, and here salvation is. This is the way. It is God's gift to you. True prayer. Prayer is a way offered by the Holy Spirit to reach God. It is not merely a question or an entreaty. It cannot succeed until you realize that it asks for nothing. How else could it serve its purpose? It is impossible to pray for idols and hope to reach God. True prayer must avoid the pitfall of asking to entreat. Ask rather to receive what is already given, to accept what is already there. 2. You have been told to ask the Holy Spirit for the answer to any specific problem, and that you will receive a specific answer if such is your need. You have also been told that there is only one problem and one answer. In prayer, this is not contradictory. There are decisions to make here, and they must be made whether they are illusions or not. You cannot be asked to accept answers which are beyond the level of need that you can recognize. Yeah, I like that. He even helps us with our decisions that are illusions. There are decisions to make here, and they must be made whether they be illusions or not. You cannot be asked to accept answers which are beyond the level of need that you can recognize. Therefore, it is not the form of the question that matters, nor how it is asked. The form of the answer, if given by God, will suit your need as you see it. This is merely an echo of the reply of His voice. The real sound is always a song of thanksgiving and of love. The form of the answer, if given by God, will suit your need as you see it. Isn't that nice to know? The form of the answer, if given by God, will suit your need as you see it. This is merely an echo of the reply of his voice. The real sound is always a song of thanksgiving and of love. Paragraph 3. You cannot then ask for the echo. It is the song that is the gift. Along with it comes the overtones, the harmonics, the echoes, but these are secondary. In true prayer, you hear only the song. All the rest is merely added. You have sought first the kingdom of heaven, and all else has indeed been given you. And that's I can hear the Matthew 6:33 in there, where it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." That last sentence again. You have sought first the kingdom of heaven, and all else has indeed been given you. You see how Matthew 6:33, where Jesus said what almost the same thing 2,000 years ago? Paragraph 4. The secret of true prayer is to forget the things you think you need. Okay, catch that. The secret of true prayer is to forget the things you think you need. To ask for specifics is much the same as to look on sin and then forgive it. If you make it real, then it's hard to make it unreal. So he's saying just know that it's something you see that's an illusion, and don't hang out with it. Don't give it any matter at all. To ask for specifics is much the same as to look on sin and then forgive it. Also, in the same way, in prayer you overlook your specific needs as you see them and let them go into God's hands. There they become your gifts to him, for they tell him that you would have no gods before him, no love but his. In other words, you're just going to trust that God will give you what you need. You don't have to get too caught up with what you specifically need. Just know that you're cared for. Just the general idea that you're cared for is what prayer is. What could his answer be but your remembrance of him? Can this be traded for a bit of trifling advice about a problem of an instant's duration? God answers only for eternity. But still, all little answers are contained in this. 5. Prayer is a stepping aside, a letting go, a quiet time of listening and loving. Prayer is a stepping aside, a letting go, a quiet time of listening and loving. It should not be confused with supplication of any kind, because it is a way of remembering your holiness. Why should holiness entreat? Being fully entitled to everything love has to offer. And when he says here it should not be confused with supplication, supplication is the asking or begging for something. So he says you don't have to do that. Prayer is a stepping aside, a letting go, a quiet time of listening and loving. It should not be confused with supplication of any kind, because it is the way of remembering your holiness. Why should holiness entreat? Being fully entitled to everything love has to offer. And it is to love you go in prayer. Prayer is an offering, a giving up of yourself to be at one with love. There is nothing to ask because there is nothing left to want. That nothingness becomes the altar of God. It disappears in him. There is nothing to ask because there is nothing left to want. That nothingness becomes the altar to God, where you just know that you're cared for. You have no needs at all, nothing. That nothingness becomes the altar of God. It disappears in him. Everything you want disappears in God. Paragraph 6. This is not a level of prayer that everyone can attain as yet. Okay, remember, not everybody can be at this place yet. This is not a level of prayer that everyone can attain as yet. Those who have not reached it still need your help in prayer because their asking is not yet based upon acceptance. Wow, catch that? Our prayers want to be based on acceptance. Help in prayer does not mean that another mediates between you and God, but it does mean that another stands beside you and helps to raise you up to him. One who has realized the goodness of God prays without fear. And one who prays without fear cannot but reach God. He can therefore also reach his Son, wherever he may be and whatever form he may seem to take. And the last paragraph, 7. Praying to Christ in anyone is true prayer, because it is a gift of thanks to his Father. Praying to Christ in anyone, that's kind of like the Namaste. I see the Christ in you. I honor it. I trust it. I pray to it in that sense. I accept it. Praying to Christ in anyone is true prayer, because it is a gift of thanks to his Father. To ask that Christ be but himself is not an entreaty, a humble request. It is a song of thanksgiving. To ask that Christ be but himself is not an entreaty. It is a song of thanksgiving for what you are. Herein lies the power of prayer. It asks nothing and receives everything. Take that idea with you, that true prayer asks nothing and receives everything. This prayer can be shared because it receives for everyone. To pray with one who knows that this is true is to be answered. Perhaps the specific form of resolution for a specific problem will occur to either of you. It does not matter which. Perhaps it will reach both if you are genuinely attuned to one another. It will come because you have realized that Christ is in both of you. That is its only truth. Wow, what a beautiful beginning of our little book, The Song of Prayer, which I really think of it as another chapter in our Course in Miracles. The last 2 chapters that didn't get included. Like Paul was an apostle that didn't get included in the original 12, but he got added. Okay, lesson 348. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Father, let me remember you are here, and I am not alone. Surrounding me is everlasting love. I have no cause for anything except the perfect peace and joy I share with you. What need have I for anger or for fear? Surrounding me is perfect safety. Can I be afraid when your eternal promise goes with me? Surrounding me is perfect sinlessness. What can I fear when you created me in holiness as perfect as your own? God's grace suffices us in everything that He would have us do, and only that we choose to be our will as well as His. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Try your best to do your morning and evening meditation for, try for 10, 15, 20 minutes if you can, at least for a minute or two. 5 would be nice. Whatever you're at, whatever you can do comfortably and feel good about it. And then maybe all you're learning is just to sit still and quiet at this point, but try to do it. And then every hour today, try to tell yourself, I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. And find something to give God thanks for in that hour. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Oh, your grace suffices suffices me. Oh, your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. Oh, your grace is sufficient for me. Your grace suffices me. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. Your grace is totally sufficient for me. Oh, your grace suffices me. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Your grace suffices me. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Shanti.